What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 100% Chelsea and welcome to another video. Again, we are here at the UFF studios and we're going to be talking about Thibaut Courtois. I'm joined with Lewis today. Obviously, Thibaut Courtois has come up with some stuff that he said over the past couple of days, couple of weeks, and obviously he likes a bit of the media circus. There has been various times that he's spoken about it this season. It's already happened. We've already had one video discussing him wanting to go back to Madrid. That being evidently clear. But, mate, I mean, what's he been saying over the past couple of days, which is causing such a circus?
Okay, apparently he said to one of the Belgian media sites that I have no explanation for the substitution of Hazard. I did not expect it, but it's the manager's choice. He'll explain it. I can't look into his head. But then he continued on saying, of course you want players like Eden to have 90 minutes on the pitch. He can always bring something extra.
Okay, so this was the main comment which Thibaut Courtois said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what does that say about? I mean, the big question here, right, would be Antonio Conte's influence.
Yeah.
So Eden Hazard said stuff already about wanting to play with Willian. Obviously there was the stuff with Thibaut Courtois over the summer.
Yeah.
Thibaut Courtois is now coming out and saying stuff. Is there? Do you reckon? How do you feel about that? Is there like a lack of communication, almost like a lack of respect? I mean, what do you reckon?
With me, it's like, I think if he ended it at, I can't explain it. I mean, he'll explain that I can't look into his head. There wouldn't be a conversation with it because he's more or less just dismissed and just said, speak to Conte. But then going out by saying, of course you want players to have, like Eden, to have 90 minutes on the pitch. He's now adding his own opinion on it, and you can say he's undermining the manager slightly with that comment.
How do you feel about that?
With me, it's like, because the Chelsea fans and what Courtois says in the media, we've always heard Courtois coming out and saying stuff in the media that we generally don't agree with.
Yeah.
We've heard lots of it. So this is just, for me, it's another thing on top. Honestly, again, I didn't think it was that bad until he said, you want players like Eden to have 90 minutes on the pitch, because then you're basically saying, I don't agree with what the manager said.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, how would this be approached? I mean, he obviously said stuff on various occasions where he's angling to leave.
Yeah.
Thibaut Courtois is wanting to leave Chelsea Football Club. Then obviously there's the conversation he had about if Hazard signs a new contract, I'll sign a new one. People we know within the club are saying that, you know, Hazard is signing a new contract.
Yep.
Whether or not it's going to be a sway for Thibaut Courtois is another question entirely. Obviously, we also saw Eilish that Thibaut Courtois, apparently his dad's in talks with PSG regarding a move move closer to his family. But at the end of the day, that just strikes me as circus again. Because I mean,
if that's real, then questions are coming up. Because if Courtois going back to Madrid, again, as much as I prefer him to stay, I get it. You're going back to your family. I understand. If you're going to Paris, then after all the stuff you've been saying in the media, all it does is just strike to me that with me, it's like my main belief with Thibaut Courtois is that I've believed ever since he's come to Chelsea, I've never thought he's 100% wanted to be here.
I'd agree with that.
I mean, I know he said he's wanted to come out and sign a new deal and all that, but he's also come out various times and practically started flirting with the Madrid clubs.
To be honest, in terms of that, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate. Obviously, we're both very measured in how we feel about it. But some people have said it, and I agree, and I can see where they're coming from, that Thibaut Courtois is acting like a spoiled child. So, for me, I agree. If he's going back to Madrid, he wants to see his family, then that's completely fine. I couldn't agree more. Family comes first for me, and whatever. That's one of the pillars of life for me. But when he came back to the club, he made it clear that he's only going to come back if Petr Cech was removed as the #1 goalkeeper. That has now happened. He displaced Cech. Cech left the club. Courtois was given.
There's also stuff the goalkeeping coach as well.
There was stuff with Christophe Lolichon as well.
Yep.
Obviously, him saying that he didn't like his techniques.
Yep.
So what they did is they moved Christophe Lolichon to a different position within the club. Abramovich, obviously, he's an avid fan.
Yeah.
We know this. Christophe Lolichon's a long-term part of this club.
Yeah.
He always has been. He's always going to be a huge part
It's
of
the
it.
reason why Czech was as good as he was.
He is the reason. He is exactly.
And it's also the reason why Arsenal fans are saying Czech's declining as well.
And he's also the reason that, in terms of modern football and modern goalkeeping coaching, you know, the serious mentality that's involved and the different techniques and all that kind of stuff which teams use. That it's because of Christoph. So and having met him, he's a lovely guy as well. So, you know, I think Thibaut Courtois, I just wasn't a big fan of it. So what Chelsea then did is I went, okay, cool, give you someone else. He's now got somebody else.
Yep.
Who is also using Christoph Lolichon's techniques. So whether or not it was just a personal stuff between Lolichon and Courtois, then that's a that's a completely different story, a different debate. But you know, I feel that there's been various occasions where Courtois has been given everything he wants, and he still wants more. Now, for me, some people could say that's down to being a winning mentality. You know, always wanting to achieve more, but that's taking what he does and what he says with a serious pinch of salt, in my opinion.
I'd say it's him having a winning mentality and wanting to achieve more, but then I'd say I'd understand it if he saw his long-term future at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And by long-term future, I don't mean signing another deal. I want to say he sees this club as a place he wants to stay till he's in his 30s, until retirement or something like that. If you've come in, first thing you want to do is push Petr Cech. Okay, competition, I get that. Moving Christoph Lolichon, that's debatable. There's a debate in that we don't see Wams in training, so I can't really put my opinion on it. But again, if you're going to move all of this forward, but you're still going to be flirting with the Madrid clubs, it just you're changing the club to suit you, and then you're leaving.
Basically, it's player power, and it's kind of ruining the mentality of the club.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, like the likes of John Terry, Lampard, Cech, and all that put the club first. I mean, whatever club you're at, no matter where it is, you should always be privileged to pull on that shirt.
Yeah.
That's just that as a footballer, I feel that should be the first thing that comes into your mind. Of I understand it's a job. I understand you're getting paid to do it, and you know, even if you don't want to go into work, some days you still have to do it. I mean, we feel the same about. I mean, so there's been days where it's been freezing cold, and me and you don't want to do fan camps, but you know, it's a case of that's our job, and we care what people think. We have a reputation to uphold as well. Thibaut Courtois has a reputation to uphold to be considered one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And I understand he's going to want to move that on forward, but any player should be privileged to pull on the shirt. There are players, even if we don't like them, Gary Cahill, an example of a player who will always fight for a shirt. I feel Antonio Rudiger's fit in that mould, as is Christensen, Aspilicueta being the prime example at the club right now, Eden Hazard. These are players where, even if they're discussing new contracts, they'll still give 110%.
Yeah.
I'm not debating that Thibaut Courtois has not given 110%.
Yeah, I agree.
But I feel that his flirtations are drawing away from our performances. And I just
feel that's also adding more pressure upon the manager as well.
Again,
these comments are just doing the same thing. Now you've got one of your own players coming out there and practically criticising the decision you made as a manager. And yeah, I get managers can make mistakes. Again, with me, I kind of got taken off Hazard because I didn't think he had a great game, and I do, because he's done it before and it has worked out. An example being West Brom away last season, 0-0. He takes off Hazard, brings on Batshuayi. Hazard wasn't having a great game. Look who won us the league, Michy Batshuayi. So it can work. You put the players on the pitch who are playing the best. And if a player isn't playing to his standard, no matter how good or how bad he is, the decision has to be made. Yeah,
but then this argument can also be made in terms of, if you're talking about Hazard, I mean, moving away from Courtois quickly, you know, Hazard is a player which can change the face of a game with one movement.
I get that.
And I can understand what Courtois saying. Eden Hazard is a player that can change the game in 90 minutes. He can definitely do that, and it only takes a moment of magic. And if in terms of getting that done and creating something, Hazard's up there with some of the best in the Premier League, if not the best. I mean, you're up there with the Salahs, the De Bruynes. You know, these are fantastic players that have when they see an opportunity, they take it. And Hazard is definitely up there as one of those players. But
then you've also got to add a question of maybe freshness. Because you do got to add the games that are coming up as well.
But Sunday going into our next game on another Sunday.
Fair point.
I mean, if it was like the Barcelona game where you had a 3-day rest between the game before that and the Barca game, then that's a completely different story. Completely understand where you're coming from. But right now, that there is a 7-day period. I feel that, you know, they're huge games, and I understand that Eden Hazard may not always be at his fittest, and I think he's being protected as well.
If I wanted to pick Conte's mind and say why he did, I'm thinking, because with me, I personally think William played better than Hazard on that day.
I agree with that.
So he came off for Pedro, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it was just a case of bringing on fresh legs.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Conte's always been very pragmatic.
Yeah.
He is a very pragmatic manager.
Yeah.
And I think he saw... I think we won... It was 1-1 when he took Hazard off, wasn't it? Or was it 2-1?
I'll be real, I don't remember.
I think it was 1-1. So he saw the game, he saw the opportunity just to bring on fresh legs and try and see the game out. However, that then cost us when Jesse Lingard scored a header, and we now didn't have that creativity on the pitch. And then it came down to the substitutions in terms of, you know, Cesc Fabregas and coming on a bit late. You know, these are players which you're waiting to the 70th minute to basically make a substitution in what is a must-win game.
Yeah.
Our season now is in jeopardy. I mean, I don't feel it's the talk of, you know, are Chelsea going to be in the Champions League? I think that's a conversation to be had after Manchester City.
Yeah.
I don't feel this is a conversation to be had now. I feel if people are having that conversation now, it's a sensationalist attitude. And
people are panicking, and I can kind of see it.
yeah, of course.
I mean, like we've both been a bit worried for a little while.
Yeah,
We haven't gone out there and said it straight after we dropped out of the top 4, but but we've had like little feelings about it, like little gut feelings.
Well, I've said it since the midway of the summer transfer window because we weren't making the signings we needed.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's another video for another day. I don't want to talk about it yet because I'm not going to
go out there and say, "Oh, we're going to drop out the top 4 fully."
I feel that would be content for the sake of it if you're just going to talk about that right now. I think if you're going to be doing videos on that, you need to be waiting until after the City game, because let's be honest, we're in 5th position in the league. You know, there is serious questions. However, there is only a few points separating us and like 2nd and 3rd, so I don't think it's a huge issue right now. If the other teams win at the weekend and we lose to City, that's when you need to start looking at what's going on.
5 points off Spurs and Arsenal are 5 behind us.
Exactly. So it's a serious question then, but right now it's not really worth talking about. But I mean, let's go back to what we are talking about. So Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah.
Is his position at Chelsea Football Club in the starting 11 in jeopardy after that then?
In jeopardy, no. Because I think Willy Caballero is my thing with Caballero is that he's a great shot stopper, but there's a little bit of he's a bit rash.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So, like, there's too big of a golfing class between Courtois and Caballero there to be a discussion.
But do you think that there should be implications and stuff in place where if that is the case, where players do say something out of turn? Obviously, David Luiz lost his place in the team pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah.
After the Roma game.
Yeah.
He's not going to get back in the team, in my opinion. I don't think he will, unless there's a very serious injury to one of our centre halves. Well, 2 of them actually, because obviously you've got 3 there right now that are playing, and then you've got Cahill who could slot in for one of them. But all in, do you think that
there's got to be implications, but I think it's just a case of a fine or something like that.
That's it?
Well, you can't drop him though. That's the thing.
No.
And that's the headache that Conte has about it, because this is one of your best players, one of your untouchable players. I hate to use the word, but you can't take him out of the starting 11 because he's saved us so many times this season.
This is true. I agree. I mean, he is a master manipulator in terms of getting what he wants, getting what he needs. We've spoken about that already and how he does that. But I agree. I think you can't take him out of the 11. I do think that there does need to be words had, not just with him. I just feel the entire squad needs to. Now is the time where I'm not a player in that dressing room.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit there and say this is what they shouldn't do and this is how it should be done, because you know I'm not there. I know they watch these. I know they watch our content, but you know it's a case of I feel that now we just need to keep our heads down. Now City is a tough game. Either way, City is going to be a very, very hard game. If we don't win it, that's okay. You know, it's a case for me. That's how I feel. I feel that obviously I want us to win. That's what. But I mean, we are going against one of the best teams in Europe right now.
Okay, in terms
I'll tell you what. I would be okay with a loss if it wasn't absolute battering. Put it that way. As if we put a showing in, which we're capable of doing. We did it against the best team in Europe, so we can do it against Manchester City.
But with me, it's because it's the toughest game possible for you to ask for us to win. But the fact is, this game is must win. With the position we are now, we've dropped out the top 4. We're 2 points behind Spurs. If Spurs win and we lose, it becomes 5 points. I can't say oh, I'd be okay with a loss. We have to go out there and we have to win. I'm asking a lot of it, but simply put, that's the position we put ourselves in. We've got to win.
So what would you do differently then? What's the scenario?
Scenario in terms of what?
Well, you're saying it's a must-win game, and realistically, I mean, I'm being honest here. City are probably the second best team in Europe right now.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think the big thing for us this season is Pep Guardiola's style has obviously overtaken the Premier League and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mirror, holding up a mirror to last season for us, where, you know, 3-4-3 was a system which people didn't quite understand. It was something which people couldn't tackle. I feel like this season Pep Guardiola's developed his system, and it's now proving harder to tackle because people don't quite understand it. It's a case of...
But that's also a case of the summer transfer window, because Guardiola got the players he wanted and Conte didn't. That's the thing. I've got a lot I want to say about Antonio Conte and the 3-4-3 formation, which I'm going to hold for another time. But with me, it's simply that Conte didn't get the players for the system that he wanted, but Pep Guardiola did. That's the reason why Pep Guardiola is running the league right now, and we're right now in 5th, in my opinion.
That's fair enough. Yeah, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll leave it there. Guys, if you want to see more videos like this, let us know down in the comments section below. This is... Well, I quite enjoyed coming here. I think this is your first time in it, so
yep.
Obviously this is somewhere we can come and film content. If you want a podcast as well, because obviously we've started going into various other topics of conversation there. We did have one previously, but it didn't quite fit, didn't quite work. But we will figure it out. If you want to do a podcast, let us know down in the comments. More content like this, let us know down in the comments as well. But yeah, thank you for watching today's videos. Leave us your thoughts on Thibaut Courtois down below. Thank you, Lewis, for coming on. We'll leave a link to his channel as well, Carefree Lewis G, which he's going to start uploading on because we're going to Barcelona for a week. So kind of needs to have content on there for leading up to that.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I need to start using it.
Yeah, good point. So I have one as well, but I'm not going to plug that because we don't need to. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea. All social media links are down in the description for Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you to UFF for letting us use their studio. There'll be a link to their channel as well down in the description. And guys, take care. We'll see you very soon.